Hi, welcome to the video. So today I'm going to show you a solo. Here's a tab for it that I wrote for this video, and I specifically wrote it to show applications of the pentatonic scales I taught in my last video, which I'll put a link in the description to that video. Here's a tab for that. And the tab for both are available for free on my Patreon page. You don't have to remember, and the link to my Patreon page is also in the description. So let me go ahead and play the solo first, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the details and the scales that I was using. Okay, so that's the solo. In the solo, on the tab, I wrote down the fingerings underneath that I'm using. I also wrote some of the arpeggio names on top. The reason I didn't write all of the arpeggio names is because on the bottom here, I'm going to demonstrate what I wrote there, which is the one finger in that scale that I was talking about. So it's basically doing the notes of, in this case, a C major 9, but I'm starting on the 7th and putting all the whole steps and half steps next to each other, so it sounds more scale-like. But on the second half of it, there's both the major and a minor third in there. So when I'm playing through this, the reason I didn't name all the arpeggios in the solo like I normally would is you're automatically playing different arpeggios just by playing this. So the whole thing would be the notes of a major 9 in this position, but if I start on the third note, it's actually the notes of a C major 7, E minor 7. It's starting on the flat 7. If I start on the next note higher, it's a C major 7, just starting on the third of the C. So both are inversions. And then the next one, if I start one note higher, is a G major add 11. So when I'm starting 3 of the 5 notes in the pentatonic scale, I'm actually playing the arpeggio if I play through the next 4 notes. And since each position is a different grouping of 5 notes, you get different arpeggios in each grouping too. So let me go ahead and play through a solo so you can get a feel for it. So it starts off with the slower part. Then you come back to this position, and this is where it speeds up. I'll keep it slow so you can follow it easier. Here we go outside key for a moment for the F sharp. There I'm using the second finger, and just because it pulls me forward into this position rather than using the third finger for that. To give it a little bit more momentum, I double pick some of those notes on it, and that was a conscious decision of which ones I would do on that. So then if you notice on that, the big section of that shift is just using first and second finger, just because that's what position it leaves me in when I'm moving through it. So then, and that's actually like an F major 7 without the 5th on. That is actually F major 7, just ending on the 7th. There I'm actually outlining like a D minor, just starting on the flat 3rd. And then I do the same shape, but down here it'd be starting on the 3rd of a C major. Now this part seems easy, but for me this was actually the hardest arpeggio, just because you have to use all 4 fingers on different frets and doing that at a fast pace. I pause momentarily on that. So you can't hear it then. There, kind of a little theme that repeats as I move up. So if you look at this then, I've got the fingerings written underneath. For all this, on that bottom line, I demonstrate that one scale fingering and how you can find the different arpeggios within that. So give it a try, pulling it out of context. Now, when I actually use this, this is the first time I've actually written a whole solo based upon these shapes. Normally, even though I've used some of these shapes for years, I would just do maybe a single octave of them and then go right back into my 7-note scales, or do a single lick or a couple licks on it. I wouldn't necessarily write a whole solo around them. So you can do it either way. You can write the solo around it like I did for this, or you can just take a single idea from it and then go right back into your normal licks. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Please like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate that. That helps me get more views. And I'll see you next time. Any questions, just leave it in the comment section. I always answer the questions.